alive! You heard the man. We're alive. We're alive. The first thing that I wanted to say was I'm sorry that we didn't put any episodes out. For those of you who haven't been keeping up with our Twitter, my laptop's been the hard drive broke. All right, so we weren't able to do any episodes over the last month or so. So we missed the majority of the playoffs. But we're back now. Ladies and gentlemen, for those of you who are just tuning in for the first episode tonight, I am Tyler Rains alongside my co-hosts Cameron Reeser and Ryan Gatto. Gentlemen, this is it. This is the big one. The conference finals are upon us. We're going to do a recap the first two episodes. How you guys doing tonight?
I'm doing pretty good,
man. Doing pretty good.
You know what? Have you missed the fans? Have you guys missed the fans since we've been gone?
Somehow you still ended up bringing me back. I don't quite understand how right now.
Brought him back from the dead.
You know, Ryan's just the guy that we brought back from the dead. Like he just keeps coming back. He's like the plague. He never goes away.
As I like to say, he's alive. He's alive. He's still alive.
Somehow. Cameron's like Ryan's like the plague. He never goes away. Anyway, so Cameron, you want to explain to them a little bit?
I really don't understand why I continue to come back, but I do because honestly, I have no reason.
No, you're family, man. You're part of this. Is just as much of a part of this as we are. Anyway, so Cameron, you want to explain a little bit where we've been, just kind of where we've been hiding out and all that.
Spending our lives playing Xbox.
Yeah, we've just been spending our lives just playing Xbox, just waiting for Tyler's computer to get fixed.
Because Best Buy is horrible customer service.
And don't worry, guys, stay tuned on the channel because we are going to be having some game nights, Tyler.
Hopefully.
Yeah. I want to just drop a couple of pieces of news before we get into the recap here of round one. So I'm proud to announce on behalf of everybody at Proshot, we are going to be launching our own website coming up. Not too sure when the website's going to be launched yet. Keep our Twitter up. Keep our Twitter updated. All right, but you know what? All of that aside, since we had some good news, let's get into a playoff recap of round one. Ryan Gatto, you got the floor.
Well, let's start off with the Penguins. I don't even want to talk about it. Like, it still stings. It still stings for me.
Let's just say it was a tough one for Ryan to watch. I was there in the first. I think it was game 2, wasn't it? That you were just completely flipping out about it.
Oh my god! Yeah, we wanted to record my reaction to a game, but with Tyler's computer being down, us not having time in general, just us having other things to do, it wasn't possible for us to get to be done.
And we're getting to it. We're trying to record an episode where Ryan can just spew out. You know what? We're gonna eventually do an episode where when the Stanley Cup Finals, we're gonna react to the game live, and hopefully, I'm gonna try and make it as censored as possible. But at the same time, we might do an uncensored version of it.
Dude, trust me, you guys would love an uncensored version of me watching hockey. It's great.
Hilarious. It's awesome.
Same as me and Tyler. It is unbelievable.
But Ryan's the best out of us when he's reacting to games.
We're trying to decide if we're going to be able to do a game where we react to me watching a Blues game, but it might not be possible with our schedules. If we decide to do that, we'll more than likely post it on our Twitter.
Yeah, so that's, again, if you haven't followed our Twitter or Instagram or Facebook, add us on Facebook. We got Boysat Proshot is our name. Our Twitter handle is @Proshot Podcast, and our Instagram is @Proshot_podcast. Don't forget to follow us there, and don't forget to subscribe to the podcast so far. So, Ryan, it was a tough series for the Penguins getting swept first round by the Islanders. I think we can all agree that the officiating was absolutely atrocious, and it has been so far in the entire
really bad this year.
in the entire playoffs. There was a couple of questionable hits in the Penguins series, Ryan. Which ones were there? There were a couple of hits.
Game 1, there was a hit to the head on Dumoulin that went uncalled. And then on the next play, it led to a goal, which, trust me, You would have loved to have been in a call with me when that hit happened. Woo! Man, I was going off. I can't really think of any others that really stand out. I do know McCann got injured in the game because he got cross-checked in like the back. There was a report on injuries that happened. Dumoulin was playing with a torn PCL, I think it was, and he was trying to use a boot and play, but it obviously didn't work out for him. Gensel's been playing with a rib injury since the beginning of the season. So yeah, the Dumoulin hit was pretty bad. You know, he got hit in the, I think it was the head by, I believe it was Josh Bailey. Correct me if I'm wrong.
I think
it should have been a penalty. But in the end, it ended up being a goal for the Islanders, which sucked for our part. But, you know, what can you do in that situation? The refs screw you over. You've seen plenty of it throughout the playoffs.
So the bunch of jerks, as Don Cherry calls them, nobody expected Carolina to have a chance in this series, and yet somehow Game 7, double overtime, and scores the game winner, sends them on round 2.
What a nice setup with Justin Williams.
That was a beautiful pass. You know what? That was a beautiful pass.
It really was. Fooled Holtby. Got him on the short side.
That whole party on the short side. Anyways,
we do not talk about Samuel Montembeau, okay?
that whole series.
That's a joke into NHL. That's a joke into NHL 19, okay? All right.
Anyways, I don't think anybody really saw Carolina coming out of anywhere. I mean, you would have thought Washington was going to make it past round 1 at least, being the defending Stanley Cup champions. But how the hell did Carolina just become the underdogs? Washington, again, they should have made it past round 1. But holy crap, the Hurricanes came out of nowhere.
When Washington took those first 2 games, I was like, it's over. It's over. It's done.
You would have thought that Washington was going to sweep Carolina. Your initial thought, Cameron, I remember you telling me at the beginning of the playoffs, your initial thought was that Washington was going to sweep Carolina. I don't think any of us thought that Carolina was going to go to 7 games and knock Washington out. Wow, like that's crazy. The amount of time that it took to even predict that. Whoever got that right in their playoff bracket round 1, kudos to you, man. That's crazy. All right, now I want to talk about.
That's.
Call me out if I'm wrong.
Call
me out if I'm wrong. But all of our playoff brackets are completely shot. Like we had Calgary. I think it was Calgary, Pittsburgh, and Tampa making the finals, and they all got round 1'd.
It's crazy. And you know what? Moving on, Ryan. I want to talk about this series, and this is the one that I think made you laugh. Was Tampa Bay and Columbus? What an embarrassment for the Lightning.
Oh.
I was just glad that it took all the attention off us. We both got swept on the same day. Everyone was talking about it.
I just want to say this. It's a joke, all right? It's an absolute joke. It's a joke is what it is.
You're quoting the great Lindy Ruff.
Quoting the great Lindy Ruff. It's a joke. This team... Okay, I'm going to say this right now. This team has one of the best seasons in NHL history. In NHL history, and they have the best. And they have probably one of the best rosters in NHL history. They have the best team. And what do? They get absolutely flat. I don't know if Vasilevsky took freaking meds to make him play like absolute dog shit. I don't know, but he played like absolute trash is what it is. Trash. The whole team.
I'll admit it. You know what, Vasilevsky, the games that I saw, because I was at work for the most of them, the highlights that I saw, that was not the same Vasilevsky that I saw during the regular season. That was not the same Stamkos. Wasn't.
Absolutely.
Where was Kucherov?
Not. Absolutely not.
That's because all of them
Hedman wasn't producing on defense. Stamkos, Point, Kucherov. Where were they?
Played 2.5.
Where were they? They were absolutely nowhere.
Because Hedman was injured too. Keep that in mind. But I mean, the games that he did play, like what the hell happened to him? Like he was just a former shell. That was disappointing to see Tampa lose. But you know what, Columbus, seeing them move on was crazy. Like
Absolutely. That's a Cinderella story in its own right.
It was crazy because, you know what, you never would have thought that they would. I had a feeling that Tampa was going to get beaten by Columbus. I had no idea that Columbus was going to sweep. It's truly upset season. Speaking of upset season, Cameron, buckle up. I know you're not going to like this one. This is a series that none of us wanted to talk about. Okay, fine. Cameron and I didn't want to talk about it. But, yeah, once again, it's another Game 7 loss. We're gonna go into this. So the Bruins beat the Leafs 4-3 in Game 7. That whole game, the Leafs looked ready to play. But yes, so that whole Game 7, the Leafs looked ready to play out the gate. You know, they looked fresh on their feet, and then they get it 1-0. They get it going. I'm just cheering in my head, like I'm sitting on the couch with my family. We're cheering because the Leafs score. I remember seeing that goal that was scored by Joachim Nordstrom right in between Freddie's arm and the pipe. It was just such a little tiny gap that he got it in. From that point on, I didn't see the Leafs play defense. I didn't see them try on offense. Frederik Andersen was the only person who was playing on that team. By the end of the game, it was 5-1. That was humiliating.
Lost the game 5-1. Tavares scored the only goal. Absolutely was. And I just want to say one thing. DeBrusk, I'm going to say this right now. What Kadri did in Game 2 was wrong. I get it. What he did was wrong. He could have freaking killed DeBrusk. I get it. But DeBrusk should have been disciplined as well. He should have been disciplined. But did he get disciplined? No. Because it's
horrible refereeing. That's what it was.
It is.
But
it
that
totally
knee hit. I don't care. Some will say it's intentional. Some will say it's not. It's inconclusive. I say there was blatant contact. He stuck his knee out from the angle that I was watching. He stuck his knee out right on Kadri.
Exactly.
And people...
Exactly. He wanted...
And I debated, like, I was debating back and forth with people, was it intentional? And they're just like, oh, no, he was skating past.
I'm just going to say this right now. I don't care if you Bruins fans say, oh, no, well, he didn't really mean to do it. He didn't mean to do it. If you really look on the replay, if you were a fan of a different team, you would say that he intentionally tried to hurt him. Don't even give me that crap. All right? Don't even give me that. If you want to come speak to me, about DeBrusk not intentionally trying to hurt Kadri, you're absolutely screwed in the head.
You're screwed. All right, okay, we're moving on to the next greatest upset. Colorado and Calgary. A 5-game series that was an absolute disaster.
I'm just going to say this right now. I'm going to start this off by saying, Bill Peters, why did he play Mike Smith? I don't know. David Riddick was the starting goalie of that freaking team. He led him to the playoffs. And Bill Peters should be kicking himself in the balls.
Hey, you know what? I'm going to disagree with you there. I know that Mike Smith was a playoff goalie in the past. Clearly, he lost his touch. But was there any defense really helping him out? I mean, Mark Giordano didn't look that good in the series. Noah Hannafin certainly didn't look that good. Where was Johnny Gaudreau?
I'm just saying here. Riddick would have given them a better
I don't disagree. But coulda, shoulda, woulda, right?
Riddick would have given them a better chance. And maybe, you know what? If he played great, they probably would have won the series. They would probably be playing. Well, they wouldn't be playing. They would probably get eliminated by San Jose. We'll get to them in a couple minutes. But you know, it is what it is.
It was crazy.
You know? I mean, Bill Peters should be kicking himself right now because David Riddick was the guy that led you to the Stanley Cup playoffs. He led you to the regular season Western Conference champions. And I said regular season, not playoff. Anyways. But yeah, you get you catch my drift.
Absolutely.
You catch my drift. But Riddick should have been the guy that started that series and played the whole playoffs if they got to
or to quote many numerous people, he should have been the be all and end all for that Flames team.
And you see Flames fans as well. You saw it all over Twitter after Game 5. Where was Riddick? Why didn't they start Riddick? And I'm done with this team.
I don't know. It's.
You know what? I feel you, Flames fans. I feel you. I get it. I get it. I would be in the same boat. I would be in the exact same boat. I would have said the exact same thing. Where was Riddick? I don't know. Maybe he had an injury that we didn't know about. I don't know.
I think it came down to experience, Cameron. I think it just came down to who has more playoff experience, who Bill Peters trusted more.
You know what? If they make the playoffs next season, Bill Peters, if you start Riddick the whole entire season, you stick with Riddick.
I agree.
They should have sticked with Riddick. But no, he wanted to go with experience, and it didn't work out. Mike Smith is well past his prime. He's going to retire in probably 2 seasons. I can't see him playing any more than 2 seasons. He's done.
Do you have any?
He's done. He's more of a
Cameron, do you have any?
His starting goalie days are over. It's Riddick's time.
Cameron, do you have any advice for the Calgary Flames going into next season?
What I say to you, Bill Peters, and the general manager. I forget the general manager's name. Brad Shalevi. And I say to Brad Shalevi, you should go after more depth. James Neal was not a good decision. Okay? Yeah, he had his season in Vegas.
They didn't know that.
But
in the long run,
they wouldn't know that exactly. I'm not blaming them. I'm not blaming them at all. But maybe if he has maybe one more bad season or maybe 2 more bad seasons, I would probably buy him out. Maybe put him on waivers.
So Cameron's advice is trust in David Riddick and get some depth.
Trust David Riddick. Maybe get deeper on defense. Maybe go after a big name in free agency. And then this team will be a championship.
All right, Cameron, moving on to our next favorite series. The San Jose Sharks and the Vegas Golden Knights. What a pivotal Game 7.
One of our freaking teams did it, Tyler. One of our teams
What a pivotal Game 7 it was. Now let me break down the Game 7 here. So it was a crazy game, to say the least. Vegas was up 3-0 with...
Okay, the magical
Vegas was
number.
Up 3-0.
10 minutes and 41 seconds left to go in the game. 3-0 for Vegas.
All right. So, right off the face-off, Cody Eakin and Joe Pavelski lining up. Pavelski falls back. It looked to be a cross-check against Eakin. What happened? It's a 5-minute major. They're calling it. I don't agree with that call. Again, this goes back to the crappy refereeing. That should not have been a 5-minute major.
No, it definitely should not.
You know what? Honestly, I agree. It should have been, maybe even, it should not have been a 5.
Yeah.
It should not have been a 5.
No, it should have been a 4.
Either way.
It should have been a 4.
It's a cross check.
Either way.
Blood was drawn.
The five was absolutely just utter bull crap.
Either way.
That's just crappy officiating.
I've seen a lot of people blaming it on the refs, and in my opinion, yeah, Game 7 was, but the fact that you blew a 3-1 series lead, that's not the refs' fault that you blew a 3-1 series lead.
Yeah, and what happened? Yeah, that's right, Ryan. Good choice there. What happened to Vegas? They completely fell apart. after game 3, completely broke down. And the thing is with this game, going into it now, looking back, the power play goals that were scored, unbelievable. There's one.
Oh, yeah.
So the power play starts. There's one. San Jose gets it back.
There's one. Logan
Couture.
Couture.
There's 2.
There's one. Thomas Hurdle.
3.
Logan Couture.
And
number
to
4,
take the 4-3 lead.
Number 4, Kevin freaking LeBanc.
Late in the 3rd, Vegas ties it up.
Jonathan Marchessault, right in the hash marks, rips it up top, and we're tied at 4. And then we're thinking,
Cameron and I are biting our nails.
Oh no!
Because this is like even though the Leafs are out,
we were biting our nails. Okay, so but as you guys know, I only show you.
Anyway, so Cameron and I are.
Let's keep going.
Cameron and I are biting our nails here because this is again, and this is how passionate we are.
The Leafs just got eliminated.
And this is earlier that night because we're just like, all right, well, the Leafs are out. Who do we cheer for now, right? And San Jose would happen to be still in.
We got our team. We obviously still got our team, the Sharks.
Oh man, we're going to overtime. Just then, I hear, like, I went to go and get some water. I hear Cameron just absolutely screaming. I come back and he's just like, "Holy crap!" It was. I hear Cameron just screaming at the top of his lungs.
And it was
we scored. I came back. I saw the goal. It was Barclay Goodrow.
He only played 9 or 7 minutes the whole entire game, and he turns out to be the series winner. He scores the series winner in Game 7.
And what a crazy game! Like, what team comes back? What team comes back to score 3 unanswered goals and then score the overtime winner?
That injury to Pavelski lit a fire under their ass.
They played for him. They played for Joe.
Yep.
All right, going into the Dallas and Nashville series. What'd you think, Cam?
I'm going to say it right now. It was expected. The Predators just did not come to play.
Don't think so?
They did not. They did not come to play.
Yeah.
They did not come to play. Their offense was off. Their defense was just not playing like their regular defense. Rene literally had to keep them in games, in tough situations.
And just like that, Nashville just, you know what? I'll chip in here. Nashville's just, they look strong coming out the gate again. They were one of those teams that we all thought was going to win the series, and it turned out their trade deadline acquisitions just weren't enough.
Fell off.
Subban didn't look good.
Fell off.
Yossi looked okay.
Subban was terrible.
Rene was the best Predator in that series.
Rene was the best Predator in that series. I totally agree. And the Stars, they were just on fire. They were everywhere. Bishop was at the top of his game. Vezina Trophy nominee, by the way. As the trophy finalist, by the way.
We're going to have a lot to say about the NHL awards coming up. Don't worry. But for now, yeah, Ben Bishop was just, you know what? He played his heart out in that whole first round. I'm proud of him. I'm very, very impressed.
He did.
Very impressed with this performance.
He was the best. The two goaltenders were the best players in that series.
Speaking of goaltenders, let's move on to the St. Louis and Winnipeg series, where it was the Binnington show all first round. Wow. You know what? I want to say this before we get into this a little bit. Jordan Binnington, despite being from Richmond Hill, which, you got to rep Richmond Hill, right? That's my hometown. Richmond Hill pride, guys. No, Jordan Binnington has just, in my opinion, has been the best goaltender in the playoffs. He posted an amazing, Jordan Binnington, I personally think has been the best goalie in the playoffs so far. He posted an amazing regular season records. Just completely tore it up first round, and I think he's saved a couple of games up until now. The guy's been amazing. He's been nothing but excellent.
I'm gonna have to agree. So I'm gonna entirely agree with you. He's been the best goalie. He's been the best goalie since they really went on their run. From being last place to making the playoffs, and he has been the best goalie in the playoffs. I'm agreeing with you. He's just been nothing but extraordinary, and if they win the Stanley Cup, it's all because of Bennington. And I'm just saying, if they do end up winning the cup, good for him, and good for them, and good for that franchise. And they've got a long future ahead of them.
Indeed, they do, and that's gonna come to the end of the episode now. We're gonna do another episode right after this one for round 2. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for tuning into this week's the newest episode of Pro Shot after we broke down the round 1. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe if you really like these podcasts, and we will continue doing more. Until then, guys, this has been Tyler Rains alongside Cameron Reeser and Ryan Gatto. Good night.